Okay, so welcome everybody to yoga. I hope you are well. Today's session, I wanted to do a little bit about kind of what's happening in the world with Russia and Ukraine and all of that pain that's happening. And sometimes we can feel really powerless and thinking, what can I do? What can I do to help? And it's just absolutely heartbreaking. And it made me think a lot about, what can I do? How can I help in whatever way? And it reminded me of a lot of what they talk about in Buddhism about compassion, because it's not like we can all just, leave our jobs and fly over the other side of the world and become helpers in that way. But what is it that we can do? So I wanted to bring the theme of compassion and being present with what we're feeling and allowing our heart to almost be broken by the pain of what's being felt all over the world, people that it's affecting directly, indirectly, fear, people being very worried, understandably. So yeah, we're gonna start with a meditation today, and I've written a little poem. I only had 5 minutes to write it, but I wanted to bring that into our meditation as we start today. So if you want to find a comfortable sitting position and letting your eyes gently close. And as you sit, just notice how you're arriving, how your mind is, what feelings and thoughts are here. And sometimes in a way of protecting ourselves, we block certain things out because it's too painful. And sometimes that makes sense. Sometimes we need to do that. But at other times when we're able to, it's important that we allow our hearts to feel the depth of suffering and pain. Because in Buddhism especially, they say it's the suffering that we feel that is what makes us human. It's what binds us all together, because every single life will have suffering in it, every single life. And so in Buddhist philosophy, compassion is central. And compassion is when we allow our heart to be broken almost into fragments by suffering. We allow ourselves to experience the depth of sadness so that we can be moved towards action. That is a compassionate heart, a heart that feels the depths of pain and is moved towards alleviating that in whichever way, any way possible. And that is what connects us. Allowing these next few words just to wash over you. Don't close your heart against suffering. Don't harden your heart against the pain. Allow it to be cracked open by the pain of 1,000 souls. Let your heart be cracked wide open and shattered into 1,000,000 tiny pieces. Because compassion is feeling the pain and then picking up those shattered pieces, putting them back together like a stained glass window or multicolored mosaic. Compassion is letting the cries of a nation break open your heart, immersing yourself in the ocean of unbearable sadness, and then taking that one step forward. One step forward in prayer, one step forward in donation, one step forward in sharing the message, one step forward in action, taking action. One small action closer towards freedom, peace, and sovereignty for all beings everywhere. And as we feel those words in our heart today, we're going to use our yoga practice and our breath practice to allow us to move through the suffering that we all carry, not just on an individual level, but the suffering passed over from our parents and our ancestors, the suffering of our nation and nations across the world, in Ukraine, in neighboring countries. Using movement, using the breath, we can start to move that stagnant feelings, that stagnant energy. Alleviating a little bit of that suffering. So let that be our intention for our practice today. Bringing the hands onto the knees, we can start to make some hip circles using the breath here. And change in direction with those circles if you haven't already. Taking one more breath. As you come back through center, making some rotations with the neck. And other direction. And as you bring the head back to center, bring in the fingertips to the ground either side of you. We're going to be breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth like a straw. So long exhale. So breathing all the way in, reaching the arms. And out through the mouth. Taking about 3 more of those. Just move in at your own space, your own pace. And as the fingertips find the floor the last time, I'm just going to find a twist. Doesn't matter which direction. Breathing deeply into the belly, almost feeling like a sponge that you're wringing out, some kind of cloth that you're wringing out. Almost like this cleansing effect of releasing what we don't need, trying to release that heaviness. Changing direction. Squeezing out that which is painful. All of that suffering that we've taken on just by having this human life. There's going to be suffering in here. Releasing, coming back through center. Releasing out the legs in front of you, coming to lie down on your mats. And bringing the knees into the chest. So holding the knees into the chest quite firmly, take a deep breath in. And then exhale, bring your nose up to your knees and fully breathe out. So these big cleansing breaths, we're going to do 2 more. Breathe in as the head comes down. Breathe out, nose to the knees, tightly squeezing yourself into this ball. 1 more time, breathe in. Breathe out. Bring the head back down to the floor. Feet down onto the floor, mat distance apart, just moving the knees from side to side. See if you can be with what's here, so we're not trying to bypass or just forget about or just kind of take ourselves off on a little holiday in our mind, but we're being here with what is here now, even if it isn't necessarily always comfortable. We're learning to be here with what is here. Bringing the knees back in through center. And we're just going to tilt the pelvis a few times. So lifting the low back and then tilting the pelvis forward, rocking forwards and backwards. And then press the sacrum into the floor. So the bony bit of your pelvis pressing down into the floor, lifting the feet away from the floor, bending the knees. And then we're going to straighten one leg away from us and bring it back. So we're going to do this a few times on each side and really focusing on that sacrum pressing down to the floor. If it lifts away, then the legs are being lowered too far. And we're starting to feel a little bit of that friction now, so a little bit of the uncomfortableness. And we know that it's necessary. We can't just avoid it. It's going to be painful. It's going to be a bit hard. But letting yourself be there with that. Take 2 more on each side. And then bring in fingers interlaced behind the head. We're going to add in a twist. So as one leg kind of straightens out, we're going to twist to the opposite side. Again, keeping the sacrum pressed into the floor. Feeling that fire building up in the belly now. 1 more on each side. Lovely, and then bringing the knees into the chest, rocking side to side. Take a deep breath. Feet coming down onto the floor, hands to the sides of the body. We're going to come into our bridge poses. So we're going to breathe in, start to peel the spine away from the floor, press into your feet. Then exhaling to lower down. Do that a couple more times. And see if you can feel each vertebrae so your spine isn't just kind of one big block moving up and down. The next time you come up into your bridge pose, we're going to take the right foot away. So keep the knees in line with each other. Just take that right foot away, point and flex the right foot a few times. Circle the ankle a couple of times in each direction. And then draw little circles with your right foot. Maybe 3 or 4 in each direction. Keeping the hips lifted. And then bring that right foot down, keeping the hips high. Take the left foot away from the floor, knees in line with each other, pointing and flexing the left foot. Circles with the ankle, a few in each direction. And then draw in circles with a pointed toe, 3 or 4. Keep pressing through that right foot. And bring the left foot down onto the floor and roll the spine back down. Knees coming into the chest, either rocking side to side or rocking up and down on your mats. So keep breathing. We're moving through any of the the pain, the suffering that we've taken on, especially if we're quite empathic. What's happening in the world now will be affecting us quite a lot. And the next time you rock up, or if you're not rocking up, just make your way up to seated, holding the backs of your legs in boat pose. So bringing the belly towards the tops of the thighs, softening the shoulders. And just holding here on the border of quite uncomfortableness, of difficulty, but not shying away from it, but being here directly with the sensation. Keep lifting the heart, keeping that heart space open, not closing down, not shying away from it, but being here fully. Take 2 more cycles of breath. Crossing the ankles, coming over the top into active child's pose. So curling the toes under, maybe moving the hips side to side. Keep breathing. Coming up into table, flattening the tops of the feet. Make sure we're spreading the fingers nice and wide. Start to engage the lower belly and then lift the knees away from the floor, holding here. Breathing into the strength that you have. Lowering the knees down to the floor, moving through a few rounds of cat-cow, maybe 2 rounds here. And as you come back through neutral spine, we're going to take the right hand all the way up to the ceiling. Big breath in. Make a couple of backward circles with that right arm. And the next time that right hand reaches all the way up, we're going to thread it through, bring right shoulder to the floor, maybe bring the big toes together, either reach the left hand forward, or you can thread the left hand behind your low back. Whatever feels supportive for you in your twist. If you need something under your shoulder or your head, make sure you're grabbing that. And again, this almost kind of wringing out effect. I'm going to be doing a few twists today, almost like this kind of cleanse, this release. One more breath. Release that twist, bringing both hands back down to the floor. Move through a couple more cat-cows. As we try and move with the breath through the poses, it's so that we don't get stuck in this kind of freeze kind of situation with our nervous system. So come back to neutral. Take the left hand all the way up to the ceiling. Take an inhale. Exhale, make a couple of circles. Because sometimes when that pain is overwhelming, we just shut down to it. So we want to try as best we can to just kind of keep moving through that difficulty. Reach the left hand up. Exhale, left shoulder comes down to the floor, and to thread the needle, either right hand comes forward or behind your back. So to keep our nervous system on board, keep breathing, keep moving, even though it's a heavy time, it's a difficult time. One more breath. Bring both hands back to the mat. Maybe moving through cat-cow or making some circles here. And either taking child's pose or your first downward facing dog. If you're in downward dog, you might want to pedal the heels. Keep breathing. Keep being present with what is. If you're in downward facing, we're going to move through a few plank flows. We're going to come forward into a plank. We're going to bend the knees and take ourselves back into downward facing dog. So we're going to do that maybe 4 more times. Making this the last one. From your downward facing dog, option here to take the right leg high. You don't have to. You might want to keep both feet on the floor, especially if you've got a bit of wrist pain or weakness. Take one more inhale. And step the right foot forward in between the hands. Bring the back knee down to the floor, maybe rolling up your mat as you do so. We're going to bring the hips straight back into our half splits. So lifting the front toes, sit bones coming back, lifting the heart forward, softening the shoulders, and maybe moving the right toes side to side a little bit. See how that feels. If it doesn't feel good, just leave it. One more breath. Looking forward, coming forward into our lunge, taking the arms up overhead. Hooking the thumbs together like a butterfly. Leaning to the right hand side, letting go of your neck, your head. One more breath. Coming back in through center. Left hand's going to come to the floor or to a block. Right hand can reach up overhead. So again, we're in another twist here. So hugging that right knee into center. Option if you want to bring the back knee away from the ground. Completely up to you. And those deep breaths. Moving the diaphragm, putting pressure on the organs in the belly. That lovely big squeeze. One more. Exhale, bring the right hand down inside the right foot, walking the right foot a little bit wider to make space for that right hip. So maybe just staying here with hands on the floor. If you want to come onto forearms, you can do. Again, you might use a cushion here or blocks. And we're going to step that right knee back, either coming into plank, kneeling plank, or high plank. Breathing in, breathing out. Lowering the knees down or moving through chaturanga if you want to, bringing your belly and your chest down to the floor. Inhaling, we're going to come into cobra pose. And exhale, we're going to lower down. We're going to do that twice more. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Curling the toes under, either back into your downward dog or child's pose. Taking 3 cycles of breath. If you're in your downward dog, option to take that left leg high if you want to. One more inhale. Exhale, stepping left foot forward in between the hands. Taking the hips back, coming into our half splits pose. Excuse me. Imagine you're sending your bum back behind you. Your heart keeps reaching forward, maybe moving the toes side to side. Find softness in places where you think that there isn't any. So maybe around the shoulders, jaw. Release the space across the back of your rib cage, back of your shoulder blades. Looking forward, coming forward into our low lunge, either hand staying on the top of the thigh or taking the arms up overhead. Keep opening that space in your heart, not closing off anything there. Hooking the thumbs. I'm going to lean over to the left hand side this time. Let the head go. One more breath. Inhaling back through center. Right hand finds the floor or right fingertips. Finding your twist to the left. Maybe bringing the back knee away from the floor. Only if you want to. Keep breathing. Lovely last breath. Bringing left hand inside the left foot, walking the left foot wider into your lizard pose. Find a position that is on the edge of being uncomfortable but not unbearable. And hold there, sit with that. Nothing should feel like it's going to break or snap, but it should feel like, yeah, this is challenging, this is difficult. One more full breath. I'm going to step the left foot back or left knee back to kneeling plank or high plank. And holding here. Maybe just slightly shifting the gaze forward. Just feeling the strength of your own body here. It might be a little bit stronger than maybe you thought. It can hold quite a lot. It can deal with a fair bit of difficulty. We're a bit more resilient than maybe we know. Last breath in. Exhale, bring the knees down or lower through chaturanga. Interlace the fingers behind your back into locust. We're going to lift the chest, arms and legs looking forward. And we're practicing being here with what is, not trying to run away from it, not trying to wish it was over, not turning our gaze away, but being here, square in the eye with what is. Exhale, lower. Hands under the shoulders, either back through child's pose or downward facing, again your choice. Taking 3 cycles of breath wherever you are. And we're going to walk hands to the feet, coming into a standing forward bend. Holding onto elbows, rocking from side to side. Good opportunity here to release the tension in the jaw, sticking out your tongue, releasing the tension in the mouth, which kind of flows down into the neck and the shoulders and also up into the head. And then releasing hands down to the floor. Breathe in, hands to shins, halfway rise. Exhale, fold. Breathe in, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. This time bend the knees looking forward, hands to a prayer, so we're into chair pose. We're going to come into revolve chair. So either left forearm across the tops of the legs, right hand to the hip, or prayer. Bring the hands to a prayer. So either one of those. Back and twist. Breathing in. Breathing out. Inhale, hands to prayer. Back into center. Exhaling, twist into the other side. Imagining the tailbone sinking down to the floor. One more breath. Inhale to center. Lifting the toes. Placing the toes back down. Press through the feet. Rise up. Releasing the hands, stretching through the tops of the feet. And we're going to come to stand at the top of our mat now. And we're going to bring the hands back into that prayer. Right in front of the heart. Lifting the toes, spreading the toes, bringing them back down. Just take a pause, a beat to connect with the earth beneath your feet. Start to lift the right foot away from the floor. So you can either bring the knee in front of the chest, hover the foot away from the floor, or anywhere in between. Press through the standing leg. As you exhale, right foot's going to step back into a high lunge. So take your time. And then we're going to come forward again. So bring the weight forward, come back into that balance. Lovely, we're going to do 2 more, so in your own time. As you find your high lunge, we're going to take the arms wide into a Y shape or V, whichever way you look at it. Taking the arms up overhead, breathing in, lifting the heart. Breathing out, bring the arms wide and down, interlace the fingers. And lifting the chest. So it's opening this front part of the body, that vulnerable part that we don't want to be kind of shattered. It doesn't want to feel that pain, but it's important too. And either staying here or exhale, folding forward, keeping the chest open. Just be careful on your left hip. It can be a little bit intense, this one. One more breath. Inhale, lift the chest again. Releasing the hands. Right hand's going to come to the floor or to a block or prop. Left hand is going to come either onto the hip or it's going to reach up to find a twist. Alternately, if you want to, you can find a revolved twist just like we did in chair. So if you want to bring elbow outside of your knee, you can do here. Find that prayer, half bind. Lovely. One more full breath. We're just on the edge of that discomfort, but we're able to stay here with it. Inhale, rise back up to standing. Bring the hands to the hips and step the back foot a little bit closer for pyramid pose. Breathe in to lift the heart. And breathe out into that pyramid, pulling the left hip back. One more breath. From here, we're going to finish this standing sequence on this side with a revolved half moon. So you might want a prop for this one. So either with or without a prop from pyramid pose, your right hand is going to come onto the either fingertips or the prop, and the right foot is going to come away from the floor. You might stay here today, that might be enough. We can stay here, or if you want to come into revolved half moon, open the left shoulder. So you're finding that twist, turning the chest to the left. Option to reach the left hand up overhead. Hold on, 2 more breaths. Right foot comes to step back next to the left foot. And we roll our way slowly up to standing. Take a breath at the top. Take a moment. Going back to stand at the very top of your mat, hands coming together in prayer. I'm going to shift the weight over to the right foot, lift the left knee. Really pressing through the right leg. Slowly taking left foot back into that high lunge, so toes finding the floor. And then coming back into that standing balance. We're going to do that twice more. As you find your third high lunge, we're going to stay here. And taking the arms into our Y or V shape, whichever one it might be. Just calling on that inherent strength again in our body. Deep breath in, lifting the heart. Exhale as the arms come wide, down and back behind us, interlacing the fingers the opposite way so it feels quite strange. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Allow the front of the heart, the Anahata chakra, heart chakra, to be exposed. Exhale either to stay here or to fold forward. 3, 2. Inhale, lift the chest, release the hands, reach them up overhead. And exhale, bring the hands down onto, from here, exhale, left hand coming down to the floor to find our twist. So right hand to reach up overhead, or the palms together in the revolved prayer pose. And really taking deep breaths to move the diaphragm, to squeeze, to put pressure on the lower abdominal organs, to feel that kind of cleanse, that moving through of what is painful, of suffering. Almost like a detox. One more breath. Make your way back up into your high lunge. Hands coming to the waist, stepping forward with the back foot, setting yourself for pyramid. Breathe in to lift the heart. Exhale, folding, pulling the right hip back. One more breath. Lifting the chest parallel to the floor if it's not already. Left hand finds a block or the floor or some kind of objects. And we might start with just taking the left foot away from the floor. Flexing the foot so that toes are facing the floor. We might stay here for today. Or we're going to open the right shoulder. Maybe reach the right hand or hand to hip. Three, 2. Gently place the left foot down next to the right foot and rolling your way up to standing. Take a breath. Finishing off with our warrior 2. So from the top of your mat, take your right foot back and turn towards your right toe. So your right knee is going to be bent. If you're using a block, bring it with you towards your right foot. Bringing the arms out wide, gazing towards that right hand. Being with what's here, not trying to shy away from it, not going on a mental holiday anymore. Not pretending that you're not here, but being here in your entirety. As you exhale, reach the right hand forward and down, so either forearm or hands to the block or fingertips to the floor, but we want to get this long line through the left side of the body. So a big stretch from the outside of the foot to the little finger. One more breath. Inhale, come back through to warrior 2. And straighten both legs. We're going to turn the toes outwards, bend the knees. Fingers come inside of the thighs, thumbs go outside. Drop the right shoulder into the middle, look over your left. And drop the left shoulder into the middle, look over your right. Come back to center and up to standing. If you used a prop, bring it over with you into warrior 2 on the left side. Allow yourself to feel it all. Reaching through that left hand, extended side angle, so either forearm or using the block or fingertips coming down. One more breath. Inhaling, coming back up to standing and heel toeing the feet in towards each other. Give the legs a little shake. Make your way down to seated, so coming down onto your mat now. You can do this seated or lying down, ankle to knee pose. So maybe starting with right ankle to left knee. Maybe allowing the eyes to close. And notice whether it feels as though on an energetic level or physical level or emotional level that the movement and the breath has helped you move through anything. So sometimes when we feel stuck, it feels good to move and move through that so that our mind can settle a little bit. Releasing this side, switching sides. And releasing that left ankle, coming to lie down on your mat. Bringing the left knee into the chest. And crossing the left knee over the body, just finding a twist. Breathe in, bring the knee back to center. Set that right leg down to the floor. Bring the other knee up into the chest. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, crossing over the body. Slowly coming back in through center. And just seeing if there's another stretch you'd like to take here. Maybe happy baby, shoulder stand, just a stretch. When you're ready, coming to find our last asana today, which is savasana. And in Shavasana today, I'm going to play a song which is about being free. It's about being free like the birds, nature. It's about the earth in which we all belong to and we're all a part of. So just allowing the eyes to close, the body to rest now. There's nothing else you need to do. And slowly, just a gentle awareness of the breath. Moving the fingers, moving the toes. Slowly making your way up to a seat. And as you breathe in, visualizing that you're taking in all that is painful, all that is traumatic, all that is causing suffering, and you are exhaling all that is love, all that is compassion, all that is joy and beautiful in the world. Breathing in all that is painful, all that is destructive, all that is suffering. Exhaling love, peace, joy. Take 2 more of these breaths. And closing with Om and Shanti 3 times. Breathing in. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently opening your eyes. Thank you, everybody.